Hey, this is Cardell, aka Hertzfield. Welcome to the part 2. We are going to watch as Sexykins kind of dances around the table and blinks. Cool. Alright. No, really, we're going to cover part 2 of the gearing up at level 40. Kind of tips showing you what the stats do if you haven't figured it out already. And when you hit 40, it's kind of a weird point when you only have 10 levels to go, but at level 20 you had 30. The problem is at level 20 you replace gear so fast you really don't care if it has you kind of figure out what your main stat is and just get all the gear with that stat, and it usually works out in the end. At level 40 you kind of have this little division where you've got gear that's got your main stat, but then there's one or two secondary stats on there that they just throw them in there just to make it look different but have similar names, and it just gets confusing. So hopefully we're gonna help fix that for you. I'm just gonna cover it right now. Here's your priorities: aim, crit rating, power, surge rating, alacrity. Why? Let's do that right now. Yeah, let's do the skill first. Alright, critical reaction. This is basically going to cover your alacrity until you hit 50. This is why alacrity is at the very end of the priority. Basically, this allows you, when you crit, you get 5% more haste based on how much you have for 6 seconds. Sure, it's always good. Now, let us show why aim is number 1. And people are like, well, I'm a bounty hunter, where's cunning? Cunning is only for DPS. Here's your bonus damage for your tech damage. Even as a DPS, your tech damage, say power tech and you're doing fire or whatever, very useful stat cunning is. I just spoke like Yoda, and that is awesome. As a healing, you'll notice bonus damage has cunning, but bonus healing does not. So that's why we don't pick it. Yes, it's in the tech critical chance, but so is aim. So if aim's going to do the same thing, let's not waste points and stat points on cunning. Just ignore it. Crit rating is the second one. Crit rating basically will increase your critical strike, which increases your haste, and it also puts that healing over time on people with the stat or with the talent point. Yeah, that's it. Now, power and surge rating, those are the next two. They're kind of interchangeable. They're both basically two sides of the same coin. Power will increase the amount that you could possibly crit, and then surge rating just increases the multiplication of that. So, instead of doing 50%, I'm going to do 59.96% damage, whereas that base damage is also affected by power. So it's kind of, just pick one or the other. It really doesn't matter that much. I would almost prefer power because it'll do your base healing as well. So it'll just kind of help you because you're not always going to crit as you're leveling. Sure, once you hit 50, your crit will be a lot higher. So the chances of you not needing crit rating are kind of a lot lower because your crit rating will be so high. That way you would want surge rather or power rather than surge. It might flip, who knows. That's kind of the order of things. Aim, crit rating, power, surge rating, alacrity. There's not much else you can talk about. So crit over haste, I said you get the armor, you get the hot. That's why you want crit. And the more crit you have, the more often you crit, the more those two things pop up. That's basically it. Let's cover the gear. So I'm going to show you a piece of gear in here.
To take a look at our ordnance.
Medic helmet. Where's the medic helmet? There we are. Alright, so this is a medic helmet. Now, medic usually means healer. So let's look at what they've done. So I have a titanium war helmet that I got, I believe it was a quest reward on Hoth. It has 50 aim, 43 endurance, 20 crit, and 9 surge. The piece that I can get, which is 5 levels above, has 1 less aim, 20 more endurance, 16 more power. I lose all the crit and surge, but I gain 16 alacrity. As I've stated, alacrity isn't that big of a deal. So let's just ignore this piece, shall we? I would rather have crit and surge than haste, especially seeing that I don't lose that much aim. One aim is nothing. Let's go over the leg pieces here. So this is a little different. You'll see that I have crit and alacrity, or crit and surge. This piece, I would actually almost pick. Basically, I'm gaining aim, I'm gaining more endurance, so I'll survive better if I do PvP. But I'm gaining that alacrity, that 16 alacrity, while only losing 9 crit. It's kind of a trade-off. It's really, really interesting piece. I could probably get. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I have a piece in here that is better. That I would actually be able to, swap out the mod and upgrade that item, and it'll actually be better. And that's only one level away. So, you gotta kind of keep your eye out for, possible upgrades in the future. Even if you're like, it's gonna take me a while. I might even get a quest reward or a flashpoint drop that's better. But that's besides the point. That's stuff you gotta take into account when you're looking through these vendors. Is how much time is it going to take me to gain 1, 2, or 3 levels versus how fast or easy is it for me to replace the mods in piece of gear X.
For the Empire.
I think that's pretty much it. This is your vendor. Stick to it. Benalod is like the hotness. She is awesome.
Care to
And
take a look at our ordnance?
she wants us to take a look at her ordnance. So I think it's all around good times. Alright, so keep your companions upgraded as you upgrade gear. Make sure to pass it down to the hand-me-down method from video 1. Go check it out. It'll explain how to gear up Blizz as a tank. If you wanted to see anything in particular, let me know. I'm just going to start popping out some boss videos, some boss encounters, some, me actually healing and commentating, or trying to, while I'm doing it. I think I've got a couple of bosses from Foundry going to come up here soon, sometime this weekend. So stay tuned for that, and we will check you on the flip